Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, September 11th. We have significant impacts here the next couple of days with a cold front that will be sweeping through the Great Basin. Today will be the most critical day with widespread areas of strong winds in the area in brown and low relative humidity. Some of these winds might be gusting to over 40 or 50 miles per hour. The cold front by later today will be located from northern Nevada up into Idaho. So near and behind this cold front, we will see precipitation moving across Idaho. It will be somewhat scattered over much of the area, but we could see a concentration of more widespread precipitation with wetting rains and high elevation snow in central Idaho later today. And then by Thursday, this moves across Idaho into Wyoming. We will see those winds push further east and south as we move into Thursday as that cold front pushes through the Great Basin. So this will bring colder temperatures to all areas and higher humidity, although the precipitation will really be staying to the northern third of the geographic area. By Friday, quieter conditions with light winds and cooler temperatures. The only precipitation may still be lingering in western Wyoming. Precipitation over the last 24 hours, you can see, is tied to the eastern side of the Great Basin. Much of this lightning occurred yesterday, but the lightning in eastern Idaho into far northern Nevada was overnight into early morning, which is also moving into Wyoming. Yesterday, we had 9 new fires reported for just over 256 acres across the Great Basin, and you can see where these fires were reported across the area. Still many large fires and quite a bit of large fire growth in fires both in western Nevada and up into Idaho. Over the last 7 to 14 days, we've seen those dry conditions over many areas of the Great Basin. ERCs show that drying trend well. Some of the most critical ERCs are along the Sierra front, where we're seeing ERCs above the 97th percentile, but also still across much of Idaho, ERCs are above the 90th, even some areas in eastern Idaho above the 97th percentile. However, we will see significant decreases in ERCs going in through the next couple of days with the cold front and moisture, especially in the north. Otherwise, across Utah, kind of a mixed bag of lower fire danger in the east and moderate fire danger in the west. Looking at some of our ERC charts up in Idaho, where we have our large fires, ERCs are still above normal, but you can see a nosedive of conditions as the cold front moves through and we see those cold temperatures and moisture. So actually all areas of the northern third of the Great Basin will see well below normal ERCs in the next couple of days. On the western side of the Great Basin, ERCs are above the 90th or 97th percentile and will also be gradually trending downward. Just the next couple of days, it will still remain well above normal, but it's really going into early next week with the next cold front that will see a more significant decrease in ERCs with possibly some moisture on the west side. The satellite image from this morning shows the strong low moving into the Pacific Northwest, which is what will push the cold front through the area. You can see the cloud cover in the north this morning with some ongoing showers and thunderstorms. Looking at the visible satellite, you can still see some smoke beneath that cloud cover in Idaho, but also a large area of smoke over southern and eastern Nevada into western and southern Utah. And this smoke in the south is definitely very thick, so certainly there will be some air quality concerns in the south. The smoke forecast shows that well, just the smoke continuing in Idaho, probably diminishing as that cold front moves through and we get some moisture on some of these fires. Otherwise, the smoke will continue over coming off from the Davis fire in western Nevada both today and tomorrow. And the smoke in the south will start to subside and be pushed east as that cold front pushes through, so we will see some improvements in southern areas. Otherwise, for this afternoon, again, the cold front and moisture moves in. Large area of high risk for those strong winds and gusty outflow winds, or strong winds and low relative humidity. So again, a large area of high risk there. You can see the moderation of the significant fire potential in the north as that moisture moves in. So today, a lot of single-digit RHs in Nevada. Only increases in RH will be in the far northwest and northern side of the state as that cold front moves in. Otherwise, from the wind gusts, you can see these wind gusts will be gusting between 40 and 50 miles per hour in many areas. Some areas along the Sierra front, especially in the higher elevations, will gust above 60 miles per hour. Still have some breezy winds in Idaho, could see some outflows from some thunderstorms, but really the moisture is moving in, so we have much higher humidity starting today. Temperatures will start to drop significantly in the north and eventually further south. See highs only in the 60s and 70s up north. You can see that precipitation really moving into the western side of central Idaho today, and that will continue spreading eastward. Otherwise, with this cold front, we're not expecting any precipitation further south into western Nevada. Looking at Thursday, the area of low pressure moves into the northern Rockies, pushing the cold front through much of the Great Basin. So a moderation of most of our significant fire potential areas. Even though we won't see any moisture on the west side, we will see higher humidities at least and colder temperatures and lighter winds. Otherwise, still some gusty winds and dry conditions only in the far south. You can see these conditions with single-digit and low-teen RHs in southern areas with some breezy winds in southern Utah and the Arizona Strip, but these wind gusts will more be in the 30 to 35 mile per hour range. Up north, even though we'll see a significant increase in relative humidity with that moisture, we still have some gusty winds in Idaho, but again, that moisture really will be increasing with dropping temperatures. Also on Thursday, a better day for western Nevada, at least with an improved RH, with RHs in the 20 to 25% range, but again, no rainfall is expected. Temperatures continue to drop with highs only in the 50s and 60s in the north on Thursday and 70s and 60s over the northern half of Nevada and Utah. Precipitation continues in the north, so we will see, again, wetting rains in many areas of central Idaho over into Wyoming, but also areas of higher elevation snowfall with these cold temperatures. On Friday, cold front sweeps through. We see lighter winds and gradually warming conditions. Again, we'll see that more moderated, significant fire potential on Friday. Relative humidity starts to decrease in the north, but still remains above 30% and generally in the teens in other areas of the Great Basin, but much lighter winds in all areas. On Friday, temperatures will start to warm across the area, so we'll see more return to 60s and 70s in the north and 70s to around 80 over the northern half of Nevada and Utah. Precipitation only probably moving into western Wyoming before it exits. 3-day precipitation, you can see we are expecting significant areas of wetting rains potentially for parts of central Idaho and also western Wyoming. So a big help to those fires up there. Definitely will be getting some rainfall, colder temperatures, again, higher elevation snowfall. But that really tapers off as you get into northern Nevada and northern Utah. As we move into Saturday, we do have another trough of low pressure developing off the west coast. So winds might pick up a bit in Idaho or western Nevada, but mostly gusts in the teens and 20s. We will see that significant fire potential already return to moderate over western areas as the drier air moves in with those winds picking up. Sunday, we could see some stronger winds as this low digs further south. So we'll be watching that to see if we need any potential areas of high risk, either along the Sierra front or over southern and central areas of Nevada within these areas that we are still experiencing moderate fire potential. The good news is we might see some moisture drive further south into the Great Basin with this area of low pressure. Could see it in western Nevada, possibly in eastern Nevada and the northern half of Utah. So we will see again that another moderation of fire potential going into early next week with some moisture pushing further south and another round of colder temperatures. And these temperatures could even be a little bit colder than what we will see with this cold front. The 7-day total precipitation, you can see how that precipitation pushes south going with that next cold front early next week. So hopeful that we'll see precipitation in western Nevada, but otherwise it looks like north of Highway 50 across the basin is where our better chances of some rainfall will be. In some areas we'll see wetting rains. The 8 to 14-day outlook still see some troughing moving through the area, so could see some cooler temperatures and some additional chances of rainfall. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.